James, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you making the time. How are you?
I'm great, thanks Mitch. Thanks for having me. Beautiful view we got here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out to the Hills for letting me use their dining room and kitchen area, so I appreciate it. But
Beautiful.
what have you got on today? What's a typical day for you look like these days?
So interesting question. I think for me, I'm kind of in this bit of a transition period, I guess, where I don't have as many cricket professional contracts. So I'm just kind of transitioning, I guess, to what's after cricket. And if you ask me what's after cricket, and not totally sure, but I've found a nice little job with Queensland Cricket, which is doing some grassroots stuff back on the fields, helping volunteers, helping young kids, helping coaches get better. So it's nice because it's kind of a full circle moment for me to get back on the other side of fence, but I'm still kind of staying in cricket and keeping that alive while I'm still playing a little bit too.
Yeah, so what does that actually look like because Phil tells me you coach the coaches, is that right?
Yeah, mainly. Yeah, so coaches can get upskilled through different levels, like accredited coaching levels. Yep. But what this is like they're all volunteers. You know what I mean? It's usual like an under 12 cricket team kind of. Who's gonna be the coach or manager? Like who's the person who's gonna put the hand up for the year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of them have never experienced cricket before or even played. So I'm the kind of guy who can go in there and say, hey, I'm here for you. This is kind of how you run a basic cricket session.
Yeah.
We can put you through the level 1 course. For other people, it's like, okay, I actually really love coaching and I want to go further. So it's just meeting those needs of those volunteers to basically the big picture is obviously to make sure that the kids are having a good time.
Yep.
The coaches create the environment for that. So if we can look after them and upskill them, then it usually means the kids are enjoying their cricket and coming back next year.
Do you get to interact with the kids much, or is it strictly just with the coaches?
No, I do get plenty of interactions with young boys and girls, cricketers at the local clubs who are coming through as well. It's certainly still a mixture of both. I might run a session with 2 teams of young boys and girls, and I'll try and get can I get 10 coaches there? So potentially they can just watch and learn from me running a session.
Yep.
Other times it's just the coaches, where we're just unpacking a few different things. But there's a bit of variety there, but certainly get the kids and the coaches involved.
Do they get a bit of a kick out of having you come down at all?
Yeah, I think they do. I suppose I'm just still current enough to get that, get that bit of a buzz for the kids, which I enjoy too. Once again, it's another way of giving back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Putting smiles on those faces and making an effort to help their cricket from that standpoint.
Fantastic. And you're really enjoying that role?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, definitely. As I said, it's kept me in the game.
Yeah.
I want to still keep playing. I'm playing mainly club cricket now for Redlands first grade. So still want to keep playing for a couple more years and play the best I can.
Yep.
And then it'll be a full transition into what's next. But for now, it's a really nice, flexible job where I'm giving back to cricket, and I love sharing my own stories from my playing career.
Lovely.
So it's a fulfilling job.
Yeah. So you're skipper of Redlands, aren't you?
I just captained the T20 team actually.
In the T20s.
Yeah. And I hand the reins over to another fellow who's great, and he does the 1 days and the 2 day formats.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Redlands would be a bit of a stacked team considering I looked at the list. And I didn't look at anyone else's list, but I saw a lot of names I actually recognised from BBL and state cricket, and yourself, Marnus goes through there, Jimmy Pearson, a few others. Yeah, so would you guys be considered one of the more stacked teams in Queensland cricket?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, obviously we don't get those guys, the
as
whole
often,
year.
Yeah.
But we do get them at the start of the year in the T20s, and we did this year, and we won the comp. So we certainly were one of the stronger teams, and we managed to win the competition, which was great. And some of the performances from a few of those guys were just incredible, and certainly helped. But then they go and play Shield and 1 day cricket. Marnus goes and plays for Australia, so we don't see them as much. But to have them around just for 1 game, 2 games at the start of the season, it's just amazing the influence it has, on the group. you know, and sets up the whole season. Even if it's just that one younger playing, watching Marnus go and Jimmy go about it, you know what I mean? It's awesome. And the fact that they always make room and make time to come back to the club says a lot about the club, but it says a lot about them as people. They always want to come back and play for us and have a fun Saturday. So they're awesome fellas.
I reckon a lot of people don't quite understand the jump from club to state and then the jump from that to like international. Like I myself didn't even realise it until one of my mates who is more in the grade sort of systems in Sydney, like he would say, is like, you realise that like the Nathan Lyons and the Pat Cummins of the world, if they went back to grade, they'd probably open the batting and score 100 and then still pick up like 7 wickets. Like just because they go out and they're not scoring runs against England doesn't mean they can't hold the stick. That's just because it's so hard at that level. Like they're considered just the bowler, like they're not expected to bat. But like if they were to just go back to playing on a Saturday in your local park against the local cricketers, they'd probably towel up with both the bat and the ball. So like, is that the sort of stuff you see when those sort of guys come back and just get to strut their stuff?
Yeah, but like not always. I mean, cricket's a tough game. And first grade club cricket's a good standard. Yeah. There certainly is a massive jump moving forward, but I think the challenge for those guys is probably just that intensity. Like, and I mean, I've seen that in my own career coming back off from professional cricket. Sometimes you feel like just lacks a bit of intensity, and you have to learn how to make that intensity yourself. Okay. So that's, you know, probably some of the challenges. You don't have all the crowds, the buzz, everything going on where it's suddenly, you know, you really, you know, you're lifted and you're kind of ready to go. You're kind of just out on Saturday with your mates, and if it's not going well, you're kind of like, oh, like I could be playing golf today or something like that, where you're like, nah, come on, switch on, like bring the intensity. What does that look like for you? And then you get a lot more out of it. So that's probably the challenge for those guys, but more often than not, they come back and have a day out, which is great.
Oh, you can't complain with that, especially if you're captaining the team and you're able to win the tournament because of it.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Well, let's go back to sort of the start of your career. How did cricket become your thing? Were you just talented from the get-go, or is it something you picked up through high school? Like, how did you realise, hey, I'm pretty good at this sport, I could probably have a crack at making the big time here?
Yeah, like I suppose you hear it a lot, the whole backyard setup, but older brother, he's 5 years older than me, played cricket, played sports. Dad was a sportsman, played a lot of cricket. So that's, you know, just introducing it that way, and you kind of go, yeah, actually I like this. You head down and, you know, play blast cricket at your club on a Friday night, and you head into your junior system, and that was kind of me. I really enjoyed my cricket. I picked it up quite early. I played golf in the winter, so I played other sports. I played heaps of soccer until I was about 13, 14, played AFL at school, played lots of sports. Unreal. I guess I just had that natural hand-eye and those kind of things, and you go from there. And then as I got older and through high school, it was probably, you start to get a glimpse of this whole, like, you know, it's my dream. You know, cricket's my dream, and you're watching the Pontings and the Gilchrists on TV, and you kind of go, oh, these are my heroes, and suddenly there's posters on your wall, and you know, you got the orange keeping gloves and the Puma bat that Gilly's using, and you know what I mean? You're kind of like, whoa, like, could this ever be me? Like, well, maybe.
Do you ever play keeper? Did
it all. I think, which is great. All juniors have a taste of everything.
Just about, I think every kid, like I even went out and bought keeper gloves, and I had no right to stand behind the stumps, and I begged my coach the 1 year that I played cricket, put me behind the stumps, like, come on, like, I wanted to be like Gilchrist, I wanted to be like Red Hatton. I think that's the case with most kids. They think that they're going to go in and they're going to be Brett Lee, Dave Warner and Adam Gilchrist all in one. They'll be able to wear the pads and then, okay, let's swap the gloves. I'm going to go bowl a couple of overs and then come back and then I'll hit a century.
Which is exciting. Like, have a crack. For me, it was the orange gloves. It was like, they were awesome. I just had to go and get a set of them. And then you're like, well, I want to use them. I'll keep. But not much of a keeper, way too tall. But yeah, that's probably it, Mitch. Like, you start to get older, you start to think, could this be me? Suddenly, you might be in a few rep teams. And whatnot, you're understanding the pathway a bit more as you get towards 17 and 19. I certainly wasn't a standout. Like, I wasn't one of those kids who were like, holy, like, freak.
Yeah.
You know, dominating. Like I was.
Wasn't a Sam Consor sort of
Yeah,
type.
like I certainly wasn't a standout. I didn't make some of the Queensland teams going through. But yeah, I think that really helped. I wanted it. I got the best out of myself, and then I kind of had a big growth spurt, and filled out a bit more, and then kind of made the Queensland 17 team. A year young, and then I was kind of on my way. But that taught me some good life lessons as well. That everything I kind of got in my career, I had to really earn.
It wasn't such like a linear path. It wasn't just
Yeah,
coasting all the way
I
through.
had to work hard for it. I had
Yeah.
to actually really earn it, and that stays true for as I got older, and even now. So, but I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for what it taught me about myself and what it teaches you about life and how you can work hard for things. I think my character has become super resilient through that, and so yeah, I was never a freak growing up, but kind of once it was 18, 19, I was in the system a bit more. I thought, hey, I'm probably closer than this than I think.
I was going to say, you keep saying that you weren't a standout or a freak, but you're in the Aussie squad for the Under-19s World Cup.
Yeah, and that's probably where it happened pretty quick. Like 17s, Queensland, I wasn't a standout, didn't do anything special. Next year I was injured, didn't even play. 19s, a year young, once again, was steady. But then I went 19s top age and had a bit of a blinder at the carnival, and that was kind of
Sure did.
You know what I mean? And that was, and it was just, it turned out that it was a World Cup kind of year, and they were picking the squad, and they just kind of went, bang, we need to have this bloke. And then 2 months later, it was off to Dubai for the World Cup, and I'm the leading wicket taker for Australia, and suddenly then I'm in a contract.
Yeah,
talk with Queensland for a
hype juniors going
rookie
into the
deal,
States.
and it's like, whoa, okay, like this is actually 3 months, like kind of big picture, but
it's all just happened real quick.
All the work that you did before, it's and that was a goal I actually wrote. Like I really wanted to go to the World Cup. It was just a goal that I had, so that was a special time in my career. I look back on that now, and that was amazing to pull on those colours. It's the first taste of a TV game, big stadiums, you know what I mean? A big tournament feel, so amazing time. But yeah, that was probably the timing where it kind of happened pretty quick for me, but it was off the back of years of hard work.
Who were the other sort of guys in that squad that you're able to come in with?
So some of the superstars there who remain superstars. Matt Short was in that team. Ben McDermott.
Yep.
We're talking 2 international superstars there. Billy Stanlake.
I remember Billy Stanlake,
He's played for Australia, and he's kind of getting back to his feet through some injuries now, and amazing goals, fast, tall, bouncy. He can definitely play for Australia again. I hope he does. Jake Doran.
Yep. Yep.
Cracking career down in Tassie now. Doing his thing, real consistent player. He was like the standout prodigy kid because he was a bit younger in the World Cup.
Okay.
He did 2 World Cups.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but he's been good. And then there's a couple of guys who don't play anymore. Like you get it happens.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like not everyone kind of bounces on, and
not everyone that's like the highly touted, like 18-year-old actually becomes the highly touted 26-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Like. So there's blokes who don't play, or they're just they've just ended up playing some club cricket and go on pursue a career somewhere else. So, but yeah, talented group. We got knocked out in the semi-finals by South Africa. Kagiso Rabada took 6 for 24.
Oh shit!
And just ran through us, and then Aidan Markham came out and got 60 not out, and that was it. And they went on to win, but yeah, amazing memories.
They did playing with those guys that have now gone on to be Australian at this senior level. Did you see from an early point like they had the stuff? Like, and did it help you like raise your game at all, or were you all sort of finding your feet and at the same sort of level, and you were all equals at that point before you were able to go on your own sort of separate career paths?
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone there is super talented, aren't they? So in terms of seeing that they've got the stuff, like they've clearly got the the talent, but we're so raw at 18, 19, aren't we? You know what I mean? Like I said, there's guys there who didn't end up. They're not playing cricket anymore. They might not even been playing cricket when they were 25. You know what I mean? So it's still, although it was amazing and important, it's still so early. Yeah. Like looking back now at 30, you kind of go like, whoa, like I was actually still so young there. It was cool, but like, my maturity in my game actually came kind of 24, 25, like when I really was like, cool, like I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I can only really speak on my journey with that, but there was probably others that bounced on a bit quicker. But for me, I probably matured a bit later.
I mean, I feel like that's the case in most sports as well. Like, I know you're a footy fan.
Yeah.
I always see in AFL that, like, the way that some kids get written off really quickly because they come in high through the draft, and then everyone goes, oh, they're not, standouts like they were meant to be, forget about them, what's next? But, like, they haven't matured at all.
Yeah.
Like, some of the people that come through look chalk and cheese from when they got drafted to, like, 4 years later.
Yeah.
I always go back to Isaac Rankin's one of them. I remember one off-season, he came back and was, like, from the Suns. He was still up at the Suns at that point. And he came out for the first game of the year and he kicked a goal and they're like, oh, and Isaac Rankin's kicked a goal. And I genuinely said to my brother, that's not Isaac Rankin. Like, that's not him. That's not what Isaac Rankin looks like. That they've gotten that wrong. And then we looked at like, no, it is him. And just in the space of 3 months, he'd matured. And all of a sudden, he's back to being like this amazing player that's, the media gets back obsessed with because he was meant to be the best player out of the draft and then he didn't do much for his first couple of years. And same thing with so many players, and it's the same with cricket. I feel like some of the younger guys coming through as well, like Constas, he's so young, but you can see that the talent's there. His time will probably come. Like, he got to play at the highest level very early. Now they've knocked him back down to Shield cricket, but I'm sure he'll be back in due time once again he matures, gets more reps under the belt. So you come out of that tournament super highly touted after being the leading wicket taker. All of a sudden, you're in the state system, you're in the BBL system. You're not getting many games, but how was that sort of entry into the professional side of cricket? Was there any sort of culture shocks from stepping up from juniors to seniors at all, or did you sort of feel like, no, I belong here. I'm not getting games, but this is where I'm meant to be? Like, what was that sort of transition like?
Yeah, it was big. I think first of all, it's kind of, wow, like, this is my dream and I'm kind of got a first taste of it. And, you want to be, the first one at training and the last one to leave and all those little things.
Make all
like,
those good impressions.
just listen, be a sponge, all of the above. But, I found it, pretty smooth, I think. There was some good people around. There's some people that you had played some cricket with before. And there's some young guys next to you as well on the rookie list who you've probably played with, so you have some friends. And then, you got these guys who you look up to, your heroes, where you're just trying to learn off a little bit. And then you're just understanding what it looks like to train and play as a professional, and you're trying to take that all in and what that looks like for your game, and rock and roll, I guess. So it was a jump. It was amazing. Feel like you wear the uniform every day and, away you go. But there was, certainly lots of learnings that came from it.
Like, you got signed to the Heat and didn't get a game that season, but how does that actually work when you're with a BBL team? Do you still get to, like, as if it was like an NRL or a footy team, are you still training every day with them and travelling with them and all that? Or are you away at club cricket and state cricket waiting to get the call to come into that system?
Yeah, so that was a rookie Heat contract, which they don't do rookie Big Bash contracts anyway. But I mean, we're talking about just getting young guys to develop them, right? And that's great. That's good management. So I was in, but you're still expected to do all the training. Yep. Not as much the travel, like the 12 or 13 playing group will travel. Yeah. Okay. The rest will stay at home and keep training. And definitely for me, it was go back and play club cricket. Yeah. So that was the scenario for the first couple of years of my professional career. And you're just taking it in. What can I learn? And sometimes for me, I was taking too much in. You know what I mean? Suddenly you're exposed to so many coaches who all want to tell you how they think, you should get better, or, they're trying
different
to help
opinions and stuff.
Different opinions. And it's like, I've got to listen to everyone. Well, I've got to listen to that guy. He played 100 games. Like, why would I not listen to him?
Yeah, you got Mitchell Johnson there, you got Andrew Flintoff there.
You get spiraled around a little bit. Well, I certainly did as a young player, and you probably kind of go, well, hang on, like what actually made me get here originally, and why don't we just harness that and grow that? So that takes time to learn that kind of stubbornness in a way, and that conviction, and it takes performances as well. But I still think as a young player, you want to, soak up everything, take it on, maybe give it a go. That's not quite for me, filter it all through. But that was probably a little bit of a wrestle for me. I probably spiraled around, changed my game bits and pieces, maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah.
If I had my time again, I'd probably just, of course, take it on board, be a good listener, but keep harnessing what I know I'm good at and what got me there originally.
Eventually, that seemed to work for you because you started picking up the contracts here and there, getting more games in the state system. Like, how did it feel the first time you got to play for Queensland in a game? Like, was that a special moment?
Yeah, it was. And I mean, it actually took me to get out of the system to get back in, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so I got
your injury, yeah.
Yeah, injury, but like I did, as I said, I wasn't performing super well, and they kind of went 2 years rookie, 2 years on a senior list, and then after that, some stress fractures, and they said, you're not on the list anymore. I would have been 22, and it was kind of actually a bit of a weight off my shoulders. I kind of went, you know what I mean? I need to go back and actually get better and be good enough and like work it out for myself a little bit. So that was kind of 2-3 years of club cricket where, I suppose I didn't have all those voices. I had 1 or 2 voices who I trusted, and we worked out what's my way, what are my strengths, what's my game, and just started dominating club cricket and pushed my way back in. So that was a really good space for me. I learned a lot about myself and my game. I had to really earn it. That was the moment where I went like, I could just go and be average here and have to go to uni and get another career, or I can kind of fight for it. And I fought for it for 3 years, in the club system where I was working 15 hours a week part-time to,
Be able to fund things.
Pay my rent and get through and looked after by friends and family so well. So I could just wake up every morning, get to the nets at 6 and gym by 9, like on my own bat.
Yep.
That was kind of the toil that I was going through, and I loved it. But when I was able to reap the rewards and kind of get back, I think I was 25 when I played my first game for Queensland. You've kind of like, I've got back my way, and now I'm older and I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to stick to it that way. So that was an amazing feeling to have my debut one-day game and Shield game kind of within a week. Special. Looking back now, it was special. Fond memories. The Shield game was a draw. We had washed out day 4. The one-day game we lost. I got a second ball duck. Mitchell Stark got me out. I actually hit a really nice pull shot, and David Warner took a good catch. Coach came over and said, "Mate, that was really unlucky. Great shot." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Like,
Can't be as mad with that.
Yeah, is this the end? And then I bowled 4 or 5 overs to Steve Smith, and he kind of blocked me a little bit and then started hitting me everywhere, but he said I got a good slow ball, so I was kind of like, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look great in the scorebook, but like it wasn't
still things
it wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
And just took it on, and then that was the end of the season. So that was my first Queensland game. That season I had already played for the Heat in the Big Bash.
Yeah.
That was a COVID year, so that was special too. Again, your debut games are special memories. Like, it's incredible.
During that 3-year period where injuries dropped from lists and everything, you said you fought for it a lot, but was there ever moments where your career sort of maybe went through like an identity crisis sort of thing? Like, did you ever consider going, oh, maybe cricket's just not meant to be? Should I hang it up and start focusing on what's next and everything? Or was it always from the moment you got injured, from the moment you got dropped, no, I'm going to find my way back eventually, I just need to go about it the right way?
Yeah, exactly. The first probably year was a bit like, I just want to try and have a year, no injuries. So I just want to try and look after my body and just play a season for Redlands, enjoy it, and just try and get some cricket in.
Yeah.
That was my first year focus. So I probably wasn't like, I'm going to get back and be a pro. It's like, can I just get through? I've had a couple of bad injuries. Can I just play a season of cricket, enjoy it, be injury free? Did that, which was great. And then it was at the end of that year where I was like, righto, well, you can't be half-assed here. You're kind of in, and you've got to be full on, and we've got to, work hard. What are you doing for work? Okay, well, you can't work 40 hours a week and be a cricketer. That's not how it's going to work. So can we afford to be part-time work? Yes, we can. Amazing support around me. All right, great. Well, let's go. Got a coach, got my gym trainer, and away we went. And it was, we're all in. And then I did that and started to play really well that season. But still, it wasn't still till the next season where it cracked open for me.
I've listened to some of the original We Got the Chocolates episodes.
Goodness me.
And from what I remember, the training regime that your trainer was putting you through was pretty intense, and the other boys weren't as keen to get around, but you were.
Yeah, I was in the zone with Lee and Mitch in that kind of season of my life, and great friends and a great season of life looking back, living with them, and they're great cricketers too, so they certainly helped my journey. But yeah, if you talk about them, they're like, yeah, mate, it was like full on, it was going hard, like all in, but they had a lot of respect for it as well, I think. But yeah, the podcast, we kicked that off, and then I thought, yeah, no, this could get in the way a little bit. Sorry, boys, I've got to jump out. But look at them now; they're doing fine without me, and I was glad to play a little bit of a part in getting Lee and Mitch started.
Yeah, they're huge now. But so what did those days actually look like for you when it was trying to get back there? Because again, another thing that probably a lot of people don't realise, if you're not playing at the very, very top level, it's not always a very glamorous career to have being a semi-professional cricketer. So what did the typical day actually look like for you in that stage of your career?
It would have been usually wake up 6:30 was at the nets. I was hitting with a mate who was at school at the time, young fella. So I'd hit for an hour and a half, and then I'd drop him at school. From then, usually that would be 8:30 finish. From there, I usually had a fitness session 3 times a week. That would have been mid-morning, something like that. I usually worked a shift that was like 1 to 5 or 12 to 4, doing disability like support work.
Oh, okay.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Had a couple of clients with that, and then I'd usually head back to the nets and do training at night.
And then, would you be bowling in the...
Yeah, bowling, batting, or just going again. Just back to the nets after work, and then home, and that was it. Do it again tomorrow.
And that was just the everyday cycle, just to keep trying to improve and get back to it, eh?
Yeah, that was my focus. I was really clear. Yeah, I wasn't at the nets every night, but like I'd be training twice a day. Skills-wise, 3 times a week. Plenty of time with a trainer, because working on my body. Like I didn't just want to go to the gym. I wanted someone there.
Yeah.
Watching me and learning and growing and training me. So yeah, it was intense, mate. But like, as I said, it's like, it had to be. I wasn't, I had to get better at cricket. I had to make sure I was going to stay on the park. And like I said, I've always been someone who had to work to get the best out of myself. I haven't just been that kind of freak athlete who just, sound bad to like not do as much. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But that was my story.
Like, for instance, if there's like a 13-year-old kid watching this right now, I'm not sure there would be, but if they ever come across this and they're hearing all of that, like, is that what it takes? If they're listening, okay, what do I need to do to be able to get to the point where I can be a professional cricketer? Is that it? Like, or are there other ways to get there? Like, that's how hard you have to work to be able to commit to being a professional cricketer?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Like, well, I mean, that was my story.
Yeah.
Stories are different, aren't they? Journeys are different. Stories are different. Doors open at different times and doors close at different times for people. But, if I had to kind of shape it to my younger self, it would be, like, it's a great opportunity to work hard. Like, you're talking about a country who's so strong at cricket where they have 8 professional teams. Yeah. Like, we're talking very few people make it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's 8 teams. There's 8 states. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we are amazing at cricket, and we love cricket. And there's
just about every kid has a go at it at some
like
point.
England have like 25 different county teams.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? India have
Have,
hundreds of
tons.
teams. You know what I mean? We've got just 8 teams of like 20 on a list. Like, it's tough. You know what I mean? So there's so many good players out there. So many in grade cricket that you're like, they probably could be on a list somewhere. Like, they're awesome, probably too good for this level, but what is it? What's the 1 or 2%, like, or 3% that would just give you the edge? And like, if you're not fighting for that or working for that, then you're just not going to get it.
Yeah, and like, do you really deserve it if you're not willing to put those extra yards in?
There's too many other players who, you know what I mean? And so, that's my story. It doesn't have to be everyone's, but yeah, for me that was what it took from a work ethic point of view, and you know, going deeper, I had to go and believe in myself as well.
Yep.
You know, that's a key part of making it, is believing in yourself, because I was listening to all these voices and I didn't know what made me I didn't know what I was as a cricketer, so I had to go away and find that, and then believe in it, have conviction in it, so that when I go back, I'm stubborn in those ways a bit, and like I'm believing in that's the way I'm gonna go about it, because you know, all that matters is runs and wickets. At the end of the day, and you're accountable for it. That's the thing. Not the coaches. The coaches can tell you, oh, you know, you should go do this and this and this and this, but it's like at the end of the day, you're the guy who sit in the exit meeting, performance review, and go, hey, mate, like you averaged 20 for the year.
And you're the one at the crease.
Like,
you're the one.
Yeah, fair enough. But if you went and just did it your way, you might have averaged 45, and then suddenly it's like a different conversation. But and that's certainly nothing against coaching, by the way. It's just good learnings. Like take coaching on board. Like there's things that I needed to hear, and they have worked for me. So there's parts of coaching that you know, helped shape me as well. But it's just the inner self belief. Like have that first of all. You don't go looking for that from other people. You need to have that yourself. And I probably didn't have that for myself to begin with.
Until you were able to find
go
away and
put the runs on the board.
It wasn't until you're able to go away was when you're actually able to have the best benefit.
Yeah.
So would you say like that whole injury process and everything, that was a blessing in disguise?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was actually a couple of mates actually said it at the time. They're like, mate, this could be the best thing for you. Like, you know, whatever, mate. Like, I'm cooked now.
At the
like,
time,
they'll never have me back.
That.
You know what I mean? Like, they've kind of given me
missed your door now.
Given me 4 years, and you know what I mean, and you're done. But like, they're like, no, like this could be the best thing, and it certainly was.
So you spoke about doors opening, doors closing, and you mentioned earlier before the cricket debut came, the Heat debut came, and that was a door that opened for you in the COVID season. What was that all like? Like, I feel that would have been completely different to any other style of cricket because of the way that you guys would have had to train and travel in bubbles, and you got players going down left, right and centre, and the amount of random people that got games in the BBL that year was crazy. I feel like maybe it was Melbourne Stars that once even the team physio had to play, like because he had cricket experience in grade, so they said, we'll get you on a one-day contract so you can play. Like, what was that all like? It was, you finally get there and you're playing games, and then all of a sudden, no crowds, bubble, everything like that. Just talk me through that whole process. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, hectic, mate. What a time. Crazy.
It's crazy to think that it was 6 years ago now. Like, it's just, it feels like yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, but I look back, and the funny thing was because it was my first time back, it was kind of like, well, I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So the poor fellas who it's like their 7th, 8th, 9th year of Big Bash, where it's been such a lovely time for them of year. It's Christmas time. It's all about playing and enjoying each other's company, getting out and about and stuff. And then suddenly they've got to be trapped in a hotel. Like, that would have been really hard for them. But for me, it was like continuing that discussion, it was like, I've just busted my bum for 3 years to get something like this. Like, how good? You know what I mean? So it was like, it was probably helpful for me because I was like, bubble, who cares, mate? I'm playing at the Gabba tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was probably really helpful for me, but I don't look back on those kind of 2 seasons going like, that really sucked. It was kind of like, which was pretty helpful for me. It was kind of like, there was at times where it's like, I'd love to go play golf and, we're not allowed to, or love to see my girlfriend at the time, but she's got to do 5 days of quarantine if she wants to come and see me.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
Well, that sucks, but stuff that, you know what I mean? And but at least, I'm, married now with a baby girl, and if I was to do it now, I'd be it would be miserable. Yeah. Yeah. So it was probably a blessing to kind of feel like that was my first taste of it, and I was just doing what I was told, man, because I was playing cricket in the Big Bash.
Did you?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see that from the other guys? You say if you were to do it now, you'd be probably sitting there going, "This sucks." But so your love and life, was anyone else around you struggling?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
It?
No, definitely. Yeah, exactly right. Definitely, like I said, because they had something to compare it to, and this wasn't the Big Bash that they'd known, and wives and kids and stuff involved, then I definitely, it would have been really constricting for them. I could imagine. So having one of those sitting in this chair would be a different story. But for me, it was kind of do what I was told and crack on. And I mean, you still got to go outside to train and do bits and pieces. But funny time looking back. But I was just kind of on top of the world. I kind of reached my dream. I was in the thick of it. Actually, was playing well. Like I was contributing, and then I was playing Big Bash. So I mean, the no crowds thing was a bit funny, but we still did get some crowds that year. I had crowds for my debut, but awkward time. But I guess I choose to look back on that fondly because it was my debut.
Yeah,
my first time face playing Big Bash, and strange, mate.
What was the team culture like? Compare it to some of the later seasons where it all went back to normal, right? Was the team culture and attitude still hyper competitive, ready to go out there and smash it? We want to win this title, or was it let's just get this over and done with so we can go back to our families and stuff?
Yeah, tricky one. Once again, I was so raw and fresh. I was just that young puppy dog just in the room, like, how good's this? Taking it all in again. I'm ready to go. Like, let's do it. But I guess now, moving kind of 6 years later, looking back, I probably thought, there'd be guys in there who are hurting, the poor fellas. You know what I mean? They were like, like you said, this is really tough. I can't see my family, or like I'm just stuck in this hotel, and that just doesn't suit my personality, and I feel constricted. I'm getting told what I do. I'm doing a test every day, and now I'm doing 7 days quarantines. Yeah, it would have been tough, mate. And like, of course it affects the culture. Like, I think it affected our coach a lot as well. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely think it affected the culture and the attitude. Nothing got toxic or anything. I think it was just guys who were like, they just were hurting a bit. So then, that takes a bit away from your performance naturally, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah.
At the top level, and then you're exposed for that. But that would have been true for every team. Yeah.
And so, like I said, take me to those later years in the Big Bash when everything's back to normal. How's that compared to the COVID years? And you've got a couple more years of seasoning under your belt, like being more used to it. You have something to compare it to now. Were those still just as enjoyable, those later years in the Big Bash?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. No, every year was so enjoyable. Obviously, I did 3 seasons coming back. 3 seasons at Brisbane and 2 at Adelaide. Yep. Both clubs are amazing, both great places to play. And I suppose the non-COVID seasons are, you're playing golf a lot with the guys, you're taking your sticks and you're travelling around. When you go to Perth, you're going to the beaches. Yeah. You know what I mean? Can you get a game at Hobart around Christmas, New Year's time when all the boats are coming in, and like that's a good time of year, good place to be. Melbourne, you got the tennis on, like amazing. We're playing, the Renegades when the Aussie Open's on. Ooh, sweet. Talk to the big dogs in your team. How can you get some tickets? Suddenly you're at the Aussie Open, like, so special time.
Sounds like it's more of a boys' trip with a bit of cricket on the side.
Maybe. Yeah, but it's great fun. Certainly out and about, lots of golf and fun, and with the Big Bash, it's tournament focused. You know what I mean? Games come pretty thick and fast. It's not like you go into training to feel like you're, in a pre-season working on all these things. You want to keep topping up, maintaining, sharpening skills, and kind of dropping games and working on the next one, looking at the opposition, how you prepare, and also getting some rest.
Were there any teammates in either team that you became super close with throughout those periods?
It's probably a few. I mean, I was pretty happy getting along with anyone and everyone. I probably particularly enjoyed meeting the overseas guys. Just because it's like, you're just not going to cross paths with.
So true, yeah.
With those guys.
You're not going to be playing with them on a Saturday at Redlands.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Marnus and Jimmy and Haz and guys like that in the Heat team who you're close buddies with. But when you kind of come across, like, I had 1 year at Hobart, or 2 years at Hobart when I was real young. That was Stuart Broad, Kumar Sangakkara. Yeah, wow. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay. And you know what I mean? Meeting those guys and, just them giving you just a little bit of their time is amazing. And recent times, talking to Jamie Overton, that rookie year for the Heat was Freddie Flintoff. You know what I mean? Jamie Overton, Adam Hose been great. heaps of others. I can't even think of them. Ollie Pope, Test cricketer, Adelaide. So just that's been probably that's a cool part of it, I reckon, just picking those guys' brains and guys you're not going to come across very often. But it's amazing, like they're all going through the same things you are.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, that's the funny thing is like, oh yeah, mate, like I struggle with that as well. Like this is what I do, and that's where it becomes really relatable when you talk to those really good cricketers. Like, yeah, mate, I went through that. This is what helped me, or this is what helps me do this. And it's like, oh, you're actually just one of us. Like, kind of battlers working your way through this silly game that we play.
I mean, that's why I enjoy doing these interviews, because you get to actually talk to them and realise, oh, they're just people. Like, you're just a person. You just happen to be really good at cricket.
Yeah, that's right. David Payne's another one. He was at Adelaide and he just went back and won the Big Bash again with the Scorchers.
Yeah.
He's such a great fella. So much time for you. And yeah, like a deeper thinker of the game, and same thing, like super relatable. And yeah, like you never know. Like someone who, you go to England and you could probably message them for a game of golf and they'd probably, clear a day and go take you to golf, and you're kind of like, wow, like that's pretty cool. That's a part of sport that, creates those kind of things so much more than just runs and wickets.
I mean, it's the same thing on the other foot as well. Like, you get to play with these guys that you don't get to come across in state and club cricket. So you also get to play against guys you don't ever come across. So what was it like? Were you ever at the crease and this international players steaming into you and you're like, oh, shit. I
haven't seen this before. Plenty of times. A couple of fast bowlers like your Harris Ralphs, your tricky spinners. I played with Majib at Brisbane Heat, but then had to face Majib. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he's like he used to laugh at me, like bowling in the nets. So he laughed at everyone because we were shocking in the nets. Then you kind of like, next minute you're facing him when he was playing for the Renegades. It's incredible bowling to guys like Alex Hales and Faf du Plessis and these kind of guys that are like superstars. It's hard not to be like a bit starstruck at the top of your mark. You kind of go, oh no, like it's just bowl the ball, mate. But looking back now, you're like, cool, that's pretty special. Got a couple of them in the pocket too. So
that's good. Yeah, you can't complain with that. Who's the most famous cricketer in your pocket, you reckon?
I think it could be Faf.
Yeah, wow. Like, do you ever exchange messages with him, or that's just one to use if you're ever in South Africa?
Maybe. But he just had to slog one and missed it as a tricky wicket. But, it's stuff like that you kind of go, wow, it's pretty cool. I can think about that forever. No one can take it away from me.
Yeah, it's very cool. And you've gotten to do some very cool things on the back end of the career as well. You've ended up playing cricket in some really strange places when it comes to cricket.
Yeah.
Europe, Japan, all of these places that probably 20 years ago, before this whole like T20 ecosystem popped up, that you wouldn't have gotten to play. So talk to me, how did Europe come about?
Well, the game's moving, that's the thing, right? Like, this is the way the game's going. It's evolving at a speed of light. You know what I mean? Suddenly you can be a T20, you can have a career just in a T20 format. You can now have a career that's just in a T10 format.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's crazy. A 90-minute game. Bash and away you go and shake hands and that's it. Bowl 2 overs. I'll be waking up pretty fresh tomorrow and, tomorrow night at 7:30 we'll do it again. Like it's nuts, but that's the game that's evolving. That's the game that's moving. That's the game that these kids are growing up watching, and we've got to roll with it. We've got to keep moving with it. But cricket in Spain that's rare, isn't it? But it was awesome. Guys over there were really passionate about growing the game and doing such a good job over there. Some skillful players. You obviously played on AstroTurf. It was 10 overs.
Yeah, what was that like compared to playing on regular turf?
It was tricky. It was hard to bowl on because it was so slippery.
I've seen a few clips of you.
Yeah, I had to bowl off a few steps, which kind of made it feel like this is not proper. But like the European guys were steaming in like they'd done it before, so it was like, okay, goodness. And you're hitting every ball for 6, but it's on TV and like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the heck? But it was a great time. Once again, like opportunity, amazing to look back on. People you meet, people you see again. Places you go to, and same with Japan. Like there's some some real growth in that area at the moment. Guys who are really pushing for that. You saw the under-19 Japanese team make the World Cup.
Yeah.
The men's team, solid. They're trying to get better and better, putting time into it. So go over to, as I said, a country like you wouldn't think would play cricket, and you play on turf wickets and have a really good time. You go, wow, like, this is cool. And what would it mean? Like, where would this be in 10 years? Like, it's crazy to think about.
What's
you know
the
what I mean?
quality
Could we
like?
have a huge stadium in Japan where cricket's playing in Japan? You know what I mean?
Gee, it'd be incredible.
Australia and England are playing in, you know, the middle of Tokyo with 80,000 cricket fans in Japan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
It's like, where could it be? Like,
what could the
why
quality of
couldn't it?
cricket in Japan be in 10 years' time?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what the quality of cricket like is going to be in America in 10 years' time.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they just love to dominate every sport.
Yeah,
And once
it's
they realise that this is something that they could potentially dominate again, it'd be really interesting to see what happens in 10 years' time with them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. That's one country that's growing rapidly too. So, exciting time to be growing up playing cricket for your opportunities. If you work hard and you reach that level, you can see a lot of the world. You can, you know, be a little bit niche in the way you want to go about it, and you can actually, you know, make a killing, you know, financially. So, good time to be growing up.
There's some stupid money getting thrown around at these tournaments as well. Like,
definitely.
I see some of the contracts that come out of like the auctions that some of the leagues do is just absolutely mind-boggling. Like I say, I'm in the wrong industry. Why wasn't I a gifted cricketer growing up and just forget playing for Australia? I'll just go play all the T20s.
Exactly.
But what was the actual, like, you know, standard of cricket like compared to what you were used to? Was it on par with some of the club cricket you've played, or is it much lower, or is it even much higher? Like, I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
Playing in Japan against Japanese people again that we think, you know, in 10 years' time maybe they're world beaters, but where are they right now? Because I'm sure many Australians would never have even thought that they could hold a cricket bat, let alone compete at Junior World Cups and have their own tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, mate, the standard's good. Like, and they're building. You know, you wouldn't really want to compare it against Australia, but that's just probably a conversation more around the depth, right? Like, think about the depth we have. Someone like a Japanese or these associate nations, they just don't have the depth yet. Yet. They've got some players, so they probably just don't have as many players, and it's just a depth thing. But like, they've got some talent. But like, you know, the thing is what does it look like moving forward? Because now we're actually starting to harness that, develop that, and grow that, and create pathways. So that will only create more good cricketers and more depth. So although they might not be there yet, they're clearly better than they were 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Of course. And so what does that look like? They're just taking one step forward at a time, and they'll be great. They'll get better. They'll improve, and I'm excited to watch it.
And were there any moments in Spain, in Japan, where you're standing at the crease looking around going, how in the world did I get here? Like, like this is
every time, every day.
What is my life? Like, I am standing at the crease in Majorca, of all places, about to face a cricket ball. Like, what's that like? Just being in these rogue as anything places. Like, did it make you sort of like remind you why you love cricket? Because you get to have a bit more fun with it rather than being in that really high pressure state cricket environment. Like, yes,
definitely. Yeah, they probably weren't higher pressure moments, but yeah, you want to go there and do well still. But yeah, exactly that, mate. Like, how cool is this? What the heck am I doing in Spain? Like, there's mountains everywhere. You know, same in Japan, different wickets. Like, yeah, just like you said. And you know, do we skip over that a bit too much? You know what I mean? Should we take it in a little bit more, maybe? But certainly with those 2 trips, we had a good time, so they were great.
I'm sure those ones would have been more boys trips with a bit of cricket rather than actually focusing on the cricket aspect. I'm sure, especially in Majorca, you would have been able to have some fun there. Yeah. A few late nights, especially if you're only bowling 2 overs, like you said, you're not tired after the game.
Body,
any more tournaments like that lined up in the next 12 months for you, or?
Potentially, I just take them as it comes. You know, there seems to be these little ones that pop up, which are kind of good. A little bit unknown, but they're potentially good because they're 7-10 days kind of away from the family, which are extremely manageable with the family and also with work. So yeah, potentially squeezing a little bit more juice out of myself as I slowly, get on the other side of it. But look, I'm still playing really good cricket. You know what I mean? I'm 30, and some of the T20 cricket I played this year was probably the best I've played.
Of course.
This year and last year for club cricket in that tournament. So I'm still in a really good place, know my game really well, and probably have that freedom now where I kind of go, I go and play, and that's me, and then I come back and I'm a dad and go to work, and you know what I mean? It's probably, you're probably not holding it as tightly, which can actually create a lot of freedom in the way you play, and you see that across the board. So hopefully a couple more things might pop up, mate, and we can see a couple more other places of the world, and if not, maybe down the line as a coach, we'll see.
Because, like I said, they're popping up just about everywhere. Are there any ones in mind that you think, that'd be cool to play in, or are you just taking it as it comes?
Taking it as it comes. The Nepal one looks really cool. It's probably a bit longer though. That's like 4 weeks, so that might be a little bit tricky with work. If I was to get an opportunity there, that might be a bit tricky. But once again, that's just a tournament where you look at and you kind of go, "Wow, this is amazing!" Like cricket in Nepal, there was 25,000 people watching the games. You know what I mean?
And that's also one they've come such a long way in the last 10 years
such a long way. Did they They nearly beat England at the World Cup.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, wow, that would be amazing to go and have a taste of that. So that one comes to mind, and then maybe just a few other little ones. But we'll see how we go. If nothing comes up, mate, only fond memories, and might get back there as a coach anyway.
Amazing.
One day.
Yeah. Well, we like to sort of do the back end of these interviews, talking about what you like to do away from the field and what actually athletes, when they're not on the field, being on TV and being these big superstars, what actually makes them tick. You mentioned it a lot. Golf seems to be an outlet for you.
Yeah, I like my golf. I actually, like I said, I played a lot of golf quite competitively. Like I was in the Queensland kind of golf team as well. I probably kind of could have gone that way maybe, but
could have been a pro golfer.
Yeah, maybe, but of course you're going to say that now. You know what I mean? Tell the story, but. Golf as a junior sport was 12 months of the year, whereas I was only playing 5 or 6 months, and then I'd go and pick up my cricket bag and wouldn't touch the golf clubs again until kind of April. But I still love playing it now, off a handicap of 5, and kind of want to get to scratch one day.
Yeah, geez.
So it's an outlet, but also a little bit of a competitive.
It's another one of those little internal competitions.
Yeah, which I like. That's definitely a go. And there's some good golfers who play cricket. There's some of the boys who are great, who are always up for a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plenty of people to play with. And then probably, mate, just being a dad's been the most recent thing. Making that adjustment with my wife, Jess. It takes some time and makes you, use your time differently and takes some more of your time. So that's just been an adjustment, but a real focus of being a good dad and enjoying that and taking in the early steps. A lot of my mates said you don't get that time back again. So that's probably been the main kind of focus this last year, away from the game and away from work. Obviously, go home and be a dad. But there's lots going on at the moment with this kind of transition phase that I'm in. But one thing's for sure, everything will be sweet and keep moving on, and cricket will be a big part of my life, however that looks, and excited.
Yeah, wonderful. And I mean, I mentioned earlier, you're a big footy fan.
Yes.
I wouldn't be remiss if we don't have a quick chat about footy, because we at the Mox, we're footy diehards. We love AFL, and that's also why I quite liked listening to that earlier. We got the chocolates because it's so refreshing. They're
the fantasy wrap-up.
Yeah, they're from Queensland, and they're diehards about AFL because we're from Sydney and we're diehards about AFL, and everyone always looks at us weirdly because you're not from Victoria. Why are you footy diehards? So how did AFL come about in your life if you're a Queenslander?
Played a bit of AFL at sport, and then just grew to love it from a supporter's point of view.
Yeah, okay.
Dad used to take us down, myself, my brother and sister, to the Lions games, and that was kind of all. It was kind of ingrained a little bit. I mean, same with the Broncos games, and I love the Broncos. I love NRL too, but just love watching AFL. Love my Lions.
You've been spoiled the last couple of years.
Yeah, certainly been spoiled. And, it's good. I feel like it's just a great game to watch. I think sometimes the league gets a little bit repetitive for me. You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's just catch and pass and move and get some ground and kick and away you go. Whereas AFL, I love, can you be playing wider? Can you be playing down the corridor? Who's tagging who? You know what I mean? You can be 7 goals behind, but like
You're still in the game.
You're still in the game. Like in an NRL game, it's half time. It's like 24-6.
You sort of
And
see
you're
how
like,
this is going to go. Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're probably going to win, 30-15, 16
Exactly,
or something.
yeah.
AFL's like, no, like can go and their tactics can be completely changed.
100%.
This guy's tagging this guy, so we need to move this guy into the back line to get rid of him. And then suddenly like they come out and they're playing a different game. And once you learn that, it's so good to watch.
Oh, no, it is.
And it's different to different grounds too. Like
100%.
Geelong play through the middle. MCG, it's why we struggled because everyone played around us, used the width, and so it's like...
I was having that exact conversation yesterday with someone about how, because they asked, like, what are like the actual differences? And I said, the fields are like completely different. Because this guy I was talking to was a big basketball fan. I said, basketball, like they have their tactics, but the court's the court.
Yeah.
Like AFL, you have your tactics, but MCG is completely different to playing at the SCG. It's completely different to playing at the Gabba. It's completely different to playing at Adelaide Oval, just because of the dimensions, the different teams. Like I always describe it as watching good like footy just scratches an itch in my brain, and like that's why like I love watching it. I love coaching at the moment. I'm a teacher by trade.
Awesome.
I coach the under 15s boys team at the school.
Yeah.
And in the last couple of years, we've gone way further in the competition than we had any right to. We the first year I took them, we came about 16th in the state, and last year. I still don't know. Somehow, a couple forfeits helped, but somehow we came third in the state. So
perfect.
I can say
Coach
for
Carter
about
over here.
yeah, I know. I can say for about 3 more months that I'm the number 1 coach in Sydney because we were the only school left in Sydney. The rest were all down Albury way, and I love it. Just like especially because only like 5 of the boys played footy. The rest of them all soccer boys or rugby boys that just wanted to give it a crack, play with their mates, and listen. And like when I actually watch them go out there and play and instead of just picking up the ball and bombing it long, they actually did what I taught them and went handball, and now I can kick. And I'm just sitting there
those
going,
light bulb moments. How good's this?
Like,
and you're a Swannies man?
No, I'm a Bulldogs man.
Okay.
Like Nick, who I usually do the podcast with, he's a diehard Swannies man because he was raised in Sydney, and most of my family are Swannies, being from Sydney. But Mum was a country Victoria, born and raised, and she was North Melbourne growing up.
Yeah.
And my brother's North Melbourne because of that, but Dad was Swannies, being from Sydney. And apparently I just, when I was 3 years old, said, Mum, Bulldogs, and Mum tried to convince me otherwise, especially because she hated Tony Liberatore growing up, and she said, no, you can't go for the Bulldogs. And I said, no, I'm going for the Bulldogs. And she eventually relented and said, okay, as long as you don't go for Collingwood, I'm happy.
Yeah, there's a couple of different teams there, rivalries in the family, which makes it fun,
Yeah, I know. Like, it was good. It made for actually good rivalries because before Giants came into it in Canberra, like the Swans and Bulldogs game used to happen in Canberra every year. So we used to fly down or drive down. That was the family trip to Canberra every year whenever that game was scheduled. And that was the only time I got to see my team. And I love it. I think... Unfortunately, the wild cards being brought in, we're probably going to live in that wild card zone for the next few years. Like 7 to 10 is our bread and butter. So we're probably going to be. I won't get much relaxation towards the back end of the year, especially the last few years.
You'll be sneaking into the 8. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys will probably be very strong again.
Could do it again, couldn't we? Like injuries. Could Lockie Neal, that's, question marks around him. Is it going to all be too much? Is he going to go to another level? Injuries, but we got the youth.
And you picked up more players.
They've done well to hold on to the list. I thought, because there would have been some big dollars thrown at some of our guns. And I thought, 2 flags, like they might go, I'm going to, take the money here, but we've done well to hold on to them. I mean, I could speak about Lions and AFL all day. How long do we have? But think about those draft picks. Like we were saying, like we've had guys who've come in and like haven't been the Isaac Rankins more so. Like the Ashcrofts have just been ridiculous. And they're like from the first ball. Like Rayner took a while, but Rayner's now he's a big dog in the middle. But like your Ashcroft brothers are ridiculous. For him to get 2,
it's incredible.
Not Clive Churchill, Norm Smith. 2 Norm Smith medals, like.
Back to back. I remember when he got drafted, I had a couple of mates still in the system because I went through the Giants Academy system before I peaked as a 16-year-old, and I didn't have the same drive as you to be as hungry to keep going for it. And so I got booted out of that, but I still had some mates in the system still playing all of that juniors and playing against the Ashcroft boys. And I texted them, I said, he's apparently amazing. How good actually is he? And he said, no, like so many of these guys come to the draft and the media just loves them just because they pump up their tyres. But like, this kid is freakish. She's like, none of us could touch him. We were up and in the split second, he'd cleared the ball, gotten down to it, gotten a handball and then kept going, put them up and that was the game gone. Like, we couldn't get it back from there. He said like, he's like, Will Ashcroft will be good. And he's like, from the get-go, he will be good. Like, I mean, you guys have timed it well as well because,
Levi's great.
Like, you've timed it so well because of all the players from the father-son. Because when you had your first grace period, when you probably would have been about 10 or so going through the first sort of period. Like, you got spoilt when you were young and then all of a sudden you're getting spoilt again because their sons are coming around and...
Same pedigree.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably the first time in a while we've seen just like a dynasty set up another dynasty 20 years later just because all of their sons were able to go through father-son stuff. Like, it'll be
one
interesting.
One of the great rules. The great rules for us. We're loving it.
No wonder all the Melbourne teams are starting to hate you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you still a fantasy enough? Or?
Mate, I am a proper fantasy enough. To be honest, I didn't play last year. Yeah. Probably because it was taking too much time and it was like, I wanted to be all in. I was subscribing to all the podcasts and I was loving it. Like, I was coming 50th for a while there. I was chasing the Hilux. But yeah, I didn't do it last year. I don't know if I'll do it again this year.
Yeah.
Take too much time away. I'll be in trouble from the missus, mate.
Well, especially if you're that intensive.
You know what I mean?
You sound like my brother with NRL. He is
I really enjoy
super
it.
coach enough. Like, same thing, all the podcasts, all the stat books. He'll make sure he's watching every game, not because he loves it, because he's got to watch his players. He's you should have passed to him on the wing. Why'd you go yourself? You've cost me 10 points, whatever it is.
So
it
gets intense, but good fun.
It is good fun. We're looking into doing it more this year because we're... have you ever heard of Game Day Squad Fantasy? They sort of do it a little differently. Do you ever play FIFA Ultimate Team? Yeah. So like, it's that style of fantasy. So you instead of just picking the team you've got to pack the players and then you keep those players for the whole season, and that's how they do it. And so we've decided to give that a crack because they reached out and that should be a bit of fun. But Nick and I definitely, I was a big Supercoach fantasy guy back in the day as well. Back in the day when you log in day one, when it opened 50 days, make sure to get Warren in the team, make sure to get Hogg in the team, Malinga, all that. We were die hard. Like, and AFL fantasy's been put on the back burner for a couple of years, but I'm keen to get back into it because it is good fun when you...
Maybe I'll have a little bit of dabble, but just kind of keep an eye on the scores but it'll suck me in again. I'll be gone. I'll be watching everything.
Oh well, like I said, we could chat footy all day. This could be an entire football chat. I will gladly sit here all day, but you're a busy man. I'm so thankful that you've made the time for me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, mate.
No worries, Mitch. Thanks for having me. All the best for the podcast. Keep doing great things.
Thank you.